Okay, so we've got our new seed starter this year. Our big components in this particular product are the kelp, worm castings, and fully cured compost. There's not a big addition rate of those products in our seed starter because generally seeds need very low conductivity, and if you add a lot of fertilizer ingredients to your soil, you're going to impact your germination in a negative way. So if you're going to use seed starter, keep in mind that you don't want to use that as potting soil. You want to use that to start seeds. So what we're going to do today is seed out some buttercup and some delicata because it's mid-May, and we want to wait those particular types of plants. If the roots hit the bottom of a cell pack and start wrapping, they don't do very well when you transplant them. So you don't want a very big squash plant in a seed situation when you go to move it out into the garden. So anyway, back to this. I've got the largest cell that I have here. I think this is a 24 cell. We're going to fill this up with our seed starter. And I do quite a few of these a year. We're going to try to not have big air spaces in these cells. This particular size is really easy to do because they're big. If you get into something more the size of a plug tray where there's 72 or more, some of them have like 220, I think they make, trays or flats that have a lot more. It becomes a little bit more difficult to make sure that there's no airspace there, but you can pick that up and settle it a little bit. And I like to actually spray it down before I seed. Some people do this in the other direction. We've got this nice nifty little hose end on here. You don't really need that much water, but you want it to settle in. This one I did right before we started here. And we get our... I pre-soaked these. I laid these out last night in a paper towel. If you're gonna start seeds in a paper towel, actually the quality of the paper towel is pretty important. This is like a 2-ply paper towel, and it holds airspace, which the seeds need. They don't really like to sit in water. So you can see these have already started to swell a little bit. So these should all pop up pretty quick. So it doesn't take much to plant these seeds, and I'm only doing one per cell. This particular one, I'm going to do a whole tray of buttercup because hubby likes buttercup. And you don't really need to get too crazy with these. Again, I just want to get these to germinate and get their first set of true leaves instead of their seed leaves, and then they're going outside. And I'm going to go right back over this with that same sprayer to settle these in. And then they're going to go right up on the rack. This nice conditions for germinating this time of year in the greenhouse. I'll probably leave those. And we're going to set that right back down here. In. And again, if we just cheat a little bit here, and I'm going to end up dumping that out, but you don't really want it sitting in water. So I overwatered this a little bit. I'm going to wait till this settles, and then I'm going to dump out that excess water because I don't want this sitting in water. But then all we do afterwards is put her up on the rack, and I think I have my little marker. And those should germinate in just a couple of days because I've already pre-soaked them. So probably, I bet 2 weeks from now I'll be planting those out in the garden outside under row cover, and by that point they should have, probably something like one of these guys over here. These happen to be birdhouse gourds, but that's about when we want to be moving those outside, once they start throwing that first set of leaves. And that's our seed starter.